So welcome everybody to another Topical Tuesday. We're very excited about this one. Some of us know a lot about it. Some of us only know a little bit, but we are very excited today to learn more about Ozobots and how to incorporate it into your library program or use it in maybe different ways than you didn't think before. And we're always excited to have brand new guests. So again, here is the sign-in sheet. You are more than welcome to use the QR code, use the link. Again, if you cannot get it to work or for some reason you cannot sign in, don't worry about it. We can get the attendance off the Google Meet attendance sheet once the meeting is over. Like Nathan said, there are a lot of us on here. We're up to 36 right now. Take away one because I'm counted as two, so we have about 35 people. Please remember to keep your microphone on mute. There will be times to ask questions. Again, please wait until the whole presentation is over before we start chiming in and asking questions. There will be a time for questions. Just please wait for that time frame. You may use the chat box. Anya and I are reviewing and looking at the chat box as the presentation and sort of the session is going through. So feel free, if you cannot wait for the questions, feel free to put it into the chat box. I'm going to turn it over now to Nathan. And on the bottom there, you have his email address. He's going to reach out to everybody once this presentation is over. That way you can have direct conversation and emails with him, but if you want to write it down, it's nathan@ozobot.com. So for my stuff, I'm sort of done right now. So Nathan, feel free to take over and we are all ears.
Absolutely. That's awesome. I like that format as well. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to wait until the end. Just put them in that chat box and just kind of throughout the presentation here. I'll just have maybe Stephanie, if you just want to maybe read a couple questions off that you find to be more important things. And if you ever leave this call and you don't have any, if you still have some remaining questions, or if you didn't have your question answered, I'll have my email at the end of my presentation as well. So you can, if you didn't get a chance to write that down, my phone number, my Twitter handle, so all of the above. So plenty of ways to get in touch. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just get started here. I am going to share a presentation. Perfect. You are present. Sorry, I am a Zoom person, not a Google Meet person. So I might be taking a couple seconds here to switch my camera around and stuff. So it does look like you're looking at my presentation, which is a good start. But I'm going to start with a little background on myself. So my name is Nathan, as you know already. I am the account manager, account executive at Ozobot for the state of Florida, among some other ones. I currently live in Indianapolis. All of my coworkers live in California. When they hired me on, they said, you're going to be working in the Midwest. And I looked at it and I'm like, well, I don't really consider Florida and Louisiana to be the Midwest, but they're my favorite Midwestern states, I got to say. But I am a former educator. So here's just a couple of pictures of me, just to give you a little bit of background. On the left there, I was awarded a grant back in 2020, which allowed me to bring Ozobot, among some other robotics stuff, to our district to start a pilot program, and that grew into a district-wide program. And so I do have that background of finding grants and getting grants funded. I was actually working with a couple of teachers throughout your district over the summer on grant opportunities through your foundation. So I'm going to talk about that at the end of the presentation. But I just like to give that perspective because I've definitely been in your guys' shoes before, where you're seeing these really, really awesome things that are amazing to happen in schools, but you're just not really sure how to find that funding or where to find that funding. And so I'm happy to help you with that. I did, in my classroom, I taught fourth grade, gifted and talented. I did Ozobots all throughout the school day, whether that be in reading class or just a science classroom, math. I used them in every subject. A lot of fun. And I ran an after school club with Lego robotics, and that's what you see here on the right. So it's definitely what brought me into the STEM and coding space, which is what brought me ultimately to Ozobot, to help wonderful people like you get these into your classrooms. So thank you for listening about a little bit about me. Now to the more exciting stuff. We'll talk Ozobots. So I'm going to kind of like just give an overview because I know we've got a lot of people here that, you know, maybe you've been using Ozobots for 5 years, or maybe you have never heard about us ever. Either way, I'm hoping that you can get something from this presentation. So I'm going to start just kind of with the basics of our robot and what it can do. We're going to explore the 2 different ways that you can code with an Ozobot. But the big chunk is going to be exploring the online resources we have for teachers, which are free for you to use today, even if you do or do not have Ozobots, as well as looking into kind of some of the accessories that we have with Ozobot that I see often being utilized in media centers and libraries around the country, because I do have that privilege of us speaking with and working with a lot of teachers in different zones around the U.S. and just kind of see what's trending and where. So media centers are an amazing place to utilize Ozobot, and so I'm really happy to get to present to you guys. On the slide here, on the kind of sort of bottom left, is actually my biggest thing for people that are in similar roles to you. So I'm assuming that each of you all work with a very wide range of student ability, very wide range of amount of students, as well as grade levels. So imagining a very classic setting, maybe your elementary schools are K-5. And so your media center specialists like yourselves are seeing, you know, up to 1,000 to 800 students a week. And the thing about Ozobot and our robot is that it's a very high ceiling, low floor robot where teachers like yourselves can plan different lessons, and you can have the confidence that because of the kind of integrated differentiation that the robot is capable of, your students are going to be able to have access to the lesson that you're planning. It is completely hands-on. So if you're familiar with other coding platforms that you code on your Chromebook or computer, and when you execute the program, it's just on the screen. Instead, ours is coding on a computer or coding on with markers and paper, and the robot is on the student's desks. It's very hands-on. It's tactile, and so that's a different kind of way of working that brain that I love to see. Also going to show you the lesson library at some point today, which is going to be showing you all of the different content integration that we have, as well as where you can kind of find these things for your media centers. So the first thing I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to show the robot here. Oh my goodness, I just about hung up on you guys. Instead of stopping my share, I just about pressed the red hang up button. Okay, give me a second to flip my camera. And perfect. Okay, there we go. This is Evo. This is our robot. A lot of people are like, wait, I thought it was called Ozobot. I like to say it's like a Kleenex. So we have the brand of Kleenexes, and everybody calls tissues. Doesn't matter what the brand is, they call them Kleenexes. The robot's name is Evo, and that is this edition of the robot. And the company name is Ozobot, but you are welcome to use it interchangeably. You can call it an Ozobot if you wish. It's the same thing. So they're interchangeable. The robot fits in the palm of your hand. If you're familiar with some of the different robots that are out in the education world, the one thing I like about ours is it's not going to be flying across the classroom. So this is a slow moving robot that's going to stay right on students' papers. They're going to stay on students' desk. It's not going to be kind of traveling across the room and interrupting with all the different groups that you might have going on, which is nice from a classroom management standpoint. But simply put, I'm going to power on the robot, and you're going to see that the LED on top begins to flash, and then you're going to see 5 LEDs across the front. If I turn it off real quick and show the bottom, you're going to see, if I get it in the right light, you're going to see some lights across the front, and then there's a little thing that looks like a camera in the middle. Those lights across the front are the robot's ability to decide or determine that it's on top of a line. And the one in the middle determines color. So when I power on the robot, if you get a robot with us, it comes with a set of markers that students are able to code with. And this is our first method of coding. It does not require screens. It does not require devices. It simply just is the robot and markers. So I'm going to take the robot. I'm going to set it on the line. It's going to determine that it's on a line, and it's going to begin to move forward. So it knows it's on a line. It's going to move forward. It's the program starting. So if you imagine a block-based computer program, what you're seeing is basically you've executed the code. You've ran the program. Just like the black line, if I set it on the red line, it's going to chug forward. It's going to hit the different colors, and it's going to flash those different colors as it gets to them. So real basics here, this is how the robot works. Down below is where you get into the coding and the computational thinking of it. So I have two intersections. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set the robot on this intersection, and it's going to choose a random direction to go. That time it turned left on my screen. Did it turn left on your guys' screen? Because I know sometimes the cameras flip. Did it turn right or left? Or Stephanie, could you just unmute?
It looks down, but I guess
Down?
if you
All
go
right.
the other way, it's going left.
Okay, so it turned left on in my world too, so that's good. Sometimes on Zoom it's like it reverses and I got to change a feature, so I wasn't sure on Google Meet. But the robot is designed to just, when it hits an intersection, it chooses a random direction. So that time it went straight. Over here, if you can see, there's a color code. And so this is the sequence blue, red, green, and a student drew that. And the robot's going to read that color code, blue, red, green. It's going to hit the intersection and it's going to turn right. This color code is turn right at next intersection. So the robot read that. You saw the top LED flash red, blue, or red, excuse me, blue, red, green, and it executed that outcome. So really, really basic computational thinking here, algorithms, pattern recognition, kind of all of the above, just building that foundation of computer science and coding. That's just one example. If I share my screen again, you will see this PDF file that we have online. We've got around 30 color codes that the students can interact with. They can change the speed up at the top. They can change direction, so they can turn left and right at the intersections like we just kind of showed. They can go straight. There's some fun ones like a tornado, which is like a really slow spin that gets faster as it goes. There's just a regular spin and a zigzag. So all of these things are things that students can draw with their markers that come with the robot, and kind of just, again, begin to learn the basic concepts of coding, computer science. The other method of coding, the other way of coding is our block-based coding editor. So you guys might you might have experience with block-based coding. There's a lot of different ones out there. I'm sure that you've seen something familiar or similar to this, but I want to talk some about the features of ours. So first off, we have levels of code. So this is amazing for teachers like yourselves that work with an entire school worth of children. So you have level 1, which is going to be your pre-readers. So students that maybe speak English as a second language can gravitate towards this. And they can use the picture support to assist them in the coding. There's also less categories to interact with, so it's not overwhelming. And it's all just, again, picture-based. As you progress through to level 3 in the middle, you'll see there's more columns here on the right to interact with. You can start to use the different sensors of the robot. The blocks still have a little picture support on them, but there's more drop-down menus and variables to play around with. And then in level 5, it actually breaks it down for distance. It goes into millimeters, as well as millimeters per second, and angle measurements, as well as a whole library of different loops and coding and functions and variables, all of the above. So my program is a level 2 because that's my level. Let me get disco lights. Those are my favorite. And so as you kind of see here, I'm just kind of dragging and dropping blocks, and you might be able to hear the sound as well when I kind of snap them together. There's just four quick blocks here. Something else I mentioned, especially since you guys are a Florida district, we don't require student accounts. So we do not collect any student data. It is all website based. So students can just type Ozobots into their browser and it'll go to ozobots.com. Alternatively, you can have this link as a QR code. You can send it to your students on a learning management system if you have Google Classroom, Canvas, etc. But yeah, we don't, again, there's no app to download. It's all web-based. But regardless of your device, device or the robot uses Bluetooth. So if I click Programs, Power on my robots, I'm going to click Connect and my Bluetooth menu will pop up. You cannot see this, but on my screen, I'm going to click Ozobots 2. It says Ozo Nathan 2. You're welcome to name your robot so that people do not, connect to other people's robots and such like that. That gets a little hectic at times. But if you get to name them and put little stickers on them, it's a great way to manage that. But now I just click Run Program, and our robot's going to skate forward, do some disco lights, and it's going to laugh there at the end. So I'll run that again. Super fun. And that's kind of our block-based coding. Another cool feature we have now is our code preview. So students can click this code preview, and it actually shows them the script coding. So we use Python. Students can click into their blocks for, career connections. They can kind of see the type of work that would go behind actually typing out this code to send to the robot. And for your ambitious high flyers, we actually have a Python editor. So they can actually type into the different variables if they want to change some of the numbers to see what the robot would do. Definitely something for your higher students that are really interested in these things to play around with. This works. It's in beta version, but it runs with the robot just the same as the last one. Alrighty. I want to be respectful of your time, so I'm kind of pushing through it. And I also want to appreciate, I'm kind of seeing the chats coming through. Seems like I've got some Ozobot champions out there, so I really, really appreciate those people that are kind of fielding questions for me. Just I want you to know that you're definitely noticed, and I appreciate that. I'm going to flip my camera around. Hey, there I am. All right, cool. We're looking at Ozobot Classroom now. This is a teacher website. So yes, it creates an account, but this is 100% teacher stuff. Your student's going to be so lost if they get on there. This is just our landing page for all the free resources we have for you. Excuse me. The first place I want to go to is the New to Classroom Start Here. You press Get Started. It's 3 teacher training videos that are going to cover over all of the different features of the robot. So the first one's about the parts of the robot. Second one's about how to do color codes, and the third one is about how to do block-based coding. You complete all those, and we send you a certificate for an hour of professional development. So that's always nice if you need that for points or license renewals, all of the above. Pacing guides is where we have kind of designed all of these pacing guides that help you teach the color coding as well as the block-based coding. If I just click into grade 4, my favorite grade, it'll show you what a pacing guide looks like. So we have about 8 or 9 lessons on how to do color codes, and these are paced out really well. It introduces it to build off of each other for the concepts. We have some content integration as well. So once you're done with the color codes, you can do some fun science lessons or literacy lessons. And at the end of the pacing guides, you'll always find our block-based coding editors, or block-based lessons. If I click into a lesson, this is what they look like. Again, you can share this link with the students. They can pull it up on their devices, and it's got their instructions on there. They can watch the videos on their own, or you can watch them as a class. It's up to you. It comes with a downloadable activity sheet for free. So they look similar to this for the line following, so you can print it off and give it to your students. And then, they can follow along the videos, use the markers to execute the objective. So that's our pacing, guys. That's going to be mostly if you're wanting to teach computer science, that's where you're going to land. The lesson library is where you're going to find all of your content integration. So if you in your media centers, you're wanting to do some science, you can come to this lesson library and type in something like the solar system. And that's going to pop up with some activities related to planets. So it looks like this teacher here has created a lesson about how the students are going to draw the solar system and use the Ozobots to kind of mimic the planets rolling around. One of the very big favorites, many of you Ozobot champions might be familiar with it because it's a very popular one that I wanted to throw out there because it is, you guys are media center specialists. A lot of people pair Ozobots with read-alouds. And so this one's Balloons Over Broadway. So this is the story about how the Macy's Day Parade came to be. And these teachers, they read the read aloud, and they attach, the students make their own parade floats that attach to the Ozobots, and they make the parade floats follow the lines through their classroom, and everybody gets to see the different parade floats. So just making those connections with literacy, and just, you know, maybe the end of a reading unit, making a reading block come to life with the robots. Also, I know I work with a teacher in Indian River County and St. Lucie Public Schools as well, and some of their STEM schools have a big focus on like ocean sustainability. And so on here we have, and with you guys being a coastal county as well, I thought I'd throw this in there as well. We have some kind of connections there with ocean life sustainability as well. There's a mapping the ocean floor one, pretty neat. Animal adaptations using an Ozobot, or an octopus, sorry. Also using Ozobot, it seems. So yeah, there's a lot of different capabilities that this sort of has. And so there's a lot to unpack with the lesson library, but in short, just, you know, using that as a resource to find some more content on what you're looking for. All right. If you have a 3D printer, that's something I see more and more as I work with media centers. We have a free 3D printing library that comes with little bowling pins that you can just download and send to your 3D printer. Some different attachments like the pen holder and a bulldozer that you can just snap onto the robot just to make them fun, just to add just that one more layer of just something to the robots. Whew. All righty. As for the accessories and things that kind of come with the robots, the first thing that we have are our STEAM kits. So I'm holding up a box that you see on the screen here. The STEAM kits are like a hands-on, fold-out a science experiment that use the robots to make the science experiment. It's basically a science manipulative, and the robots make the model come to life. So this one here is the solar system. It's our most popular. The little fold out, I like to describe it like a Monopoly board, and that's kind of how I would describe the cardboard that comes in there. Very durable. Folds out, snaps together, snap onto the robots. And then online, we have all of the different activities and lessons that go on. So these are little experiments. This one here allows the students to kind of see what a rotation of a planet is versus a revolution, which is neat to see and watch the planets kind of go around the sun. Similarly, we have the sun, earth, and moon. So not the solar system, but related to the solar system. It's going to talk about eclipses. It's going to talk about the phases of the moon, all of the above. And then we have a sundial, so how to tell time with the sun. And lastly, we have a seesaw, which is kind of our first step into the physical science world with forces in motion. We have a new one coming out that teachers are really excited for. It's called Ozo Tells Time, and it's how to teach time on an analog clock. So if you can kind of imagine this with me, the fold out's going to be a clock, and the hour and minute hand will attach to the Ozobots, which is super fun to see. Let me stop share because
I think he left again. We'll see if he comes back. Again, he's back.
I did it. I knew I would.
Saw it.
I knew I would.
So for the sake of time, if there's anything else you kind of want to know, specific questions, again, Nathan's going to reach out to everybody after this meeting or tomorrow. But Nathan, quickly, can you just explain maybe what is the cost of one Evo or one kit?
Yes, I'll get that ready. So is that what most of the questions are going to be about?
I don't know we have some questions in the chat about cost.
Sure. Yeah, that's great. I think I'm sharing my screen now. Okay. So for one robot, it's called our Educator Entry or Evo Entry Kit, excuse me. It comes in this little package. It's going to give you one bot as well as a set of markers and a charging cable. That's $175. And then we offer for more of a larger initiative for a more amount of students, we do 2 classroom kits. So the classroom kits they come in a set of 12 and a set of 18. For 12 bots, it's going to come in this big bucket. This is what a classroom kit looks like. And the robots are going to come in this nice charging cradle. So the robot, this plugs into a charger, and the robots just kind of snap in with they're wirelessly charging now. So they just snap in there. They're like kind of like an egg carton almost. And then that charges all the robots at once. And that's also going to come with a set of markers for every robot. And the 12 pack is $2,050. So if you like do the division there, you do get a bit of a discount per robot when you do the classroom kit. And what was I going to say? Oh, the 18 pack is $2,990. And so that is the largest of the 18 kits, largest of the classroom kits. And I like to say that every teacher kind of sees it differently. Let's say your classroom size is 24, which is fairly common, but I know some schools are larger than that. With 24, I would go with the 12 pack, just because they work really well with partners. But I know some teachers are like, I really want my kids to work individually. So in that case, you would need the 18 kit or two 12 packs. Like we mentioned earlier, for the educational foundation that you guys have, I would say I've been doing some kind of research grants with Florida through some of the universities that sometimes open them. I have not found any that are currently live, but I do know you guys do have that foundation that hopefully it would be a good resource for you guys to get this funded if you choose to decide to fund an Ozobot program. I did see, oh, sorry.
It's right, go ahead.
No, I did see a lot of, excuse me, things popping up in the chat about durability, which is obviously the number one concern with anything. We know that, we're designing these for a bunch of, possibly 5-year-olds to play around with. And so I pulled this page up here. We have actually improved them over the last year and a half, and it's now a polycarbonate shell, which is more durable than the previous shell that they were using. I did not work here back then, so I didn't know what the previous product was. And we also have updated the robots to be able to do wireless charging. So that's nice as well. So just kind of talk about durability and sustainability. That's kind of on our forefront.
So one person asked, can you get the charging cradle station separate?
No, unfortunately, we don't sell the charging cradle separately.
And then along with the teacher videos and lessons, are there student videos and lessons to sort of teach them how to code, how to use the Ozobots?
That would be the pacing guide lessons.
The pacing guide, perfect.
Yeah. So everything on those pacing guides is going to introduce exactly how this lessons are actually kind of similar, more geared towards students to the teacher training videos. Mm-hmm. Those videos are quick for adults, but these ones will really break down the specifics.
Perfect. All right, so to continue moving, if you guys have any other questions for Nathan, please reach out to him individually. He does have his contact information right here on the screen for you. He would love to help you get set up with these. Like we said, the Education Foundation loves technology grants. This year, they gave more money to more schools ever before. So maybe put it on your radar to write a grant for next school year to include these robots, make a book fair, and maybe let the school know that your goal is to get some of these for your program. Ask PTA. There are different and creative ways to start collecting and getting little pieces of technology for maybe your program or your makerspace. Nathan, you are more than welcome to stay on, or I'm going to share over you to finish out the presentation that we have. But we thank you so much for being here. I know that I learned more about it, and hopefully others did too. And then I'll reach out to you to sort of switch information. I'll get your presentation, and then I'll send you the emails.
Absolutely. And thank you, everybody, for the kind words you're throwing into the chat right now. I am I do apologize since I accidentally left the meeting. I lost all of the previous questions. So please use that email to fire away any remaining questions that you have.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, we'll be in touch, and I'll reach out to everybody once Stephanie gets me your emails, and I'll send over all of the resources we covered. So if you're like, oh my gosh, wait, was that one thing? I'll have it in an email for you, I promise. So you'll hear from me here in the next couple of days. And again, thank you so much, and I hope you guys have a good one.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Yeah, bye.
So Anya's going to take the wheel and finish out the meeting for us today. I'm going to sign off. Thank you so much for everybody being here. There is going to be hands-on Ozobot training for the, or if we can get our hands on some for the new media specialists. I know that was something that we did last year for people. I will put that in our notes to where maybe we can have fun one day and somebody can let us borrow their bots for all of us to try and sort of play with. All right, Anya.
All right, so I'm going to finish up Topical Tuesday. And okay, so first of all, please sign up for Friday, October 13th. We're having an amazing day at Palm Beach Public. You're going to learn how to do some photography, and you'll be doing a walking tour through the island, and to get some photography tips and how to bring that to your media center. And this is open to media specialists and the science teachers. So please sign up for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll all be there. Also, please join Emma if you haven't already. It will be it's a great opportunity to really learn a lot about the field and to connect with other media specialists. Also, hopefully, if you can go to AASL October 19th to the 21st, I will be there. Let me know if you're going. It's a really great opportunity to learn about school libraries, and it's the first time they're going to be in Florida for like 20 years. So it's a great opportunity. It's never going to get easier to go to that conference. Also, of course, there's FAME from November 15th through the 17th, and I hope to see everyone there. And of course, please keep posting on Twitter. You can tag us, and hope to see you on Twitter. And I know we're running late, so also be sure to register for Topical Tuesday. You do receive points, and of course there is an activity so that you can receive those points. And if anybody ever has any questions about that, please let me know. And the next Topical Tuesday is on October 3rd. We will be having Mac and Curator come out. It's a great way to customize your ordering, very similar to Junior Library Guild concept. So that could really help people out with ordering, especially if you're new. And if that's all for me. If anybody has any questions, let me know. And if not, we'll see you next time at Topical Tuesday.